Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use a Venn diagram. So by the end of this short video you should be able to read a Venn diagram and determine probabilities. A Venn diagram is a way of representing data. In this case, well, what a Venn diagram looks like is you have a rectangle around the outside with two circles on the inside. And what we might do is, say for instance, I want to find out from a group of people who owns a cat and who owns a dog. So if I got everyone in my group to put up their hand and they had a cat, say for instance, I got everyone to put up their hand if they had both. So if they had both a cat and a dog, and say 10 people put up their hand, I would write the number 10 in the middle, and that 10 represents the people who have a cat, because it's inside the cat circle, also the people who have a dog, because it's inside the dog circle. So this section in the middle is where the two circles overlap. So the 10 people in the middle have both a cat and a dog. And then I might ask, who has only a cat? And this time only 4 people put up their hand. So the number 4 comes over here. It's in the cat circle still, but it's not in the dog circle. So 4 people have only a cat. And then I'm going to say, how about who owns only a dog? And then 6 people put up their hand. Again, it's in the dog circle, so they have a dog, but it's not in the cat circle. So I write it over here in this part of this right-hand circle. And then the last question is, or the people I haven't covered is, who doesn't have either? So you don't have a cat and you don't have a dog. And those 5 people, just for example, will come outside of both circles because they don't have either. Excuse me. So now I have a Venn diagram. I've filled it in with numbers, and this shows me who owns a cat and who owns a dog, who owns both, and who owns neither. The types of questions, or what this can tell us, and what we can use Venn diagrams for, is to answer questions such as these. How many people are there? So altogether there was 4 and 6 is 10, add 10 is 20, add 5, there were 25 people altogether. And I know that because I added up all of the different numbers in my Venn diagram. How many people own a dog? You have to be extremely careful here. Lots of people would immediately say 6 people own a dog. They do own a dog, but the 10 people in the middle also own a dog. And if the question is who owns a dog, you have to include everybody because these people only have a dog, but these people in the middle have a dog and a cat, but they still have a dog. So I'm going to add them together, and that'll give me 16. Very common mistake that. What is so these first 2 questions were how many people, and now we're getting back to what we've been learning about is probability. What is the probability of picking someone at random and they own a cat? So this is where you think, well, if it's probability, I want it to be a fraction or maybe a decimal or a percentage. Every time you see the word, what is the or P or PR or probability, you should immediately be thinking as, it'll be a fraction, a decimal, or a percentage, because that's how we write probability. What's the probability of picking someone and they own a cat? So you look at your Venn diagram. These people don't, these people don't. These people do, but be careful. Same as the last question, you have to include the 10 in the middle. So 14 people altogether own a cat. And it would be out of a total of 25 people. So that 25 comes from the first question, how many people are there altogether? 14 of them have a cat, so the probability of picking someone at random is 14 out of 25. The next question, what is the probability, so again you're thinking fraction, decimal, percentage, of picking someone at random and they own both? These people only own a cat, these people only own a dog, these people have neither, so the ones in the middle, the 10 out of 25, have both. You look at this fraction and you recognize they can both be divided by 5, so I can simplify it to be 2 out of 5. The last question is, what is the probability of picking somebody at random, thinking fraction, decimal, or percentage, and they have neither? So if they're inside the circles, they have at least a cat or a dog or both, but the people outside have neither. So there's 5 of them altogether, and there's 25 people altogether, and that can be simplified as well to 1/5. And that's all there is to it. A Venn diagram is a very useful way to list data. And sometimes you might see two circles, sometimes you'll see a third circle, but the concept remains the same. If you're in one circle, if you have one thing, you're in the other circle if you have the other thing, in this case, cats and dogs. You're in between if you have both, or you belong to both circles, or you're outside if you belong to neither. And then from that, we can figure out how many people there are in our Venn diagram, or what is the probability of picking someone at random. So good luck this week, and I hope you're all